Ourselves set up. We are straight into the next game. So ESL Go4LoL Cup number 87. We're up to round number 6 in today's cup. And we'll be following some good friends that we made last week. Ultraviolet Gaming. We followed them all the way through to top 4 last weekend. And they did fantastically well. And they've managed to invite us to the next game. They're round number 6. I believe we're up to now top 8. I'd have to confirm that with the ladder. So, for the time being, though, let's go straight into the Champion Select. We'll have a look at the ladder in just a few seconds. We are, of course, watching UV versus, I think that's LIS. I have no idea what the names are, who they are. So, let's see what's going to be happening for this very next game. Crew 2K are facing off against Alternate in the next round. And I wish them the best of luck. I really hope that Crew 2K cause some sort of an upset. For now, though, Champion Select going on, and we've seen Karthus and Morgana banned. Ultraviolet not wanting to deal with Morgana. We've seen the power that she has in the last game. When a Morgana commits to a good fight with those soul shackles and isn't countered by a monsoon from Janna, it really is quite difficult to deal with. And some very interesting bans here from LIS. They've removed Warwick, Olaf, and Corki. So I don't know if that's targeted bans or... Yeah, Corki is a weird one. You never see Corki being banned, so very interesting from them at the moment. First pick, Soraka, instantly locked in for UV. And once again, that's just the standard. You know, the picking a support first, it's a safe bet. It secures a lane. You know, it means you know at least one thing that the enemies are going to be doing. Jack Troll from LIS looking at Janna and Naruin. Anyways, the dude is about to pick Dr. Mundo. So Dr. Mundo back in the jungle. Very annoying to deal with. I dislike Dr. Mundo. I always find he dominates me. And really happy to see this. Udia for UV Gaming at the moment. When we watched Udia last weekend, he completely decimated opposing teams. Played extremely aggressively. Constantly stealing blue buffs. Constantly stealing red buffs. And we'll have to see if they're going to do it again this time round. So we've got the Urgot Soraka bot lane. And that's really cool for Urgot. It's almost infinite mana. If Soraka opts to put some points into Infuse, it's going to be able to give Urgot just mana back every couple of seconds. At level 1, Infuse gives back 40 mana. And I believe Acid Hunter costs 40 mana per cast. So it literally gives him an additional free Acid Hunter every time that spell is available from Soraka. So it's very useful and very awesome to deal with. And quite interestingly, we've now seen a Tristana pick up in that bottom lane. So it's going to be Tristana Janna, opting to go again for a champion with a sort of rocket jump, a movement-based ability. Corki, of course, being removed. So no Valkyrie like we've seen last round. And it was going to be a Tristana Janna now coming up against the Urgot Soraka. Looking like Galio for the mid lane. LIS looking at Galio. If I'm honest, I don't enjoy watching Galio. A good Galio ultimate, once you hit the team phase, is really awesome. Idol of Durand is incredibly powerful and, of course, locks everybody up for a while. And we're seeing, once again, double AP, Kennen and Vladimir coming out. It looks as though today is the Ken and Vladimir day. Third game almost in a row, actually. It might even be in a row. Where we're seeing the double AP. Let's see if they lock this in. So that's Kennen locked down. And I think we're also going to see the awesome Blood Lord Vladimir skin of Count Dracula awesomeness as well. And of course, Kennen is a very good counter to Galio as well. That's Slicing Maelstrom, the electrical surges, and of course the ability to stun even without using attacks while taunted, for example. It just completely locks up Galio. Remember that Kennen's electrical surge, every 4th attack will apply a Mark of the Storm, a little lightning ball that'll run around you. And while you're taunted from Galio, you auto-attack Galio. So even if Kennen has been captured, if he throws his Slicing Maelstrom down and then just auto-attacks Galio, it's passively going to pick up some procs for that stun. And of course, once you stun Galio, it ends Idol of Durand. I'm going to see one last pick coming in. We know Galio is going to go middle. And if anything, if the games we've seen thus far are anything to go by, we're going to see a Kennen face off against Galio. And what looks like might be a Needly against Vladimir. Now that's very interesting to me because Needly is a poke champion. And if you're going to be playing a poke champion, you tend to play a AD carry that has some poke as well. Sort of a Sivir. Well, a Corki as well would have been a good one, with his missile barrage. You can even stick like an Urgot in there as well. Keep throwing out those acid hunters. So interesting to see if this is going to get locked in. And I'm not certain I like the plan. I don't think it fits with the rocket jump Tristana that jumps in there, gets very aggressive. Dr. Mundo as well. Sadism runs in there, gets very aggressive. Galio pulls everybody towards him. So I think it would have been better to maybe go for the likes of a Jarvan or somebody else in that top lane that could try to just be a bit more aggressive, a bit more tanky DPS. So the champions are locked in. We're going to wait for this last minute to see who's going to be swapping around to who. And it looks as though everybody actually picked their own champions. I haven't seen a single swap yet. So really, really interestingly that both lanes or both teams got the champions they wanted to pick. Another mention there in chat from Technolink. Yes, Needly has become a bit more popular being built as attack damage recently. But to really get the most from her, you do need to build ability power. All of her, most of her damaging abilities, especially that spear, it just scales so fantastically well on AP. So I feel it's a little bit wasteful to build attack damage, but it can work as well. The execution from the execution ability in her Cougar form is also very, very powerful. So let's pull up the ladder just as soon as I actually get to it. All right, so Go4LoL 87. We've been here for 5 or 6. No, what's the time now? We've been here for 6 hours already casting. We're up to round number 6, and we are looking for UV Gaming. They've managed to fight their way through all the way from round 1. They managed to pick up a bye. Tier 1 defeated, IP defeated, TPK defeated, and then Team Hate as well. So they are now facing off against LIS. Let's bring up their champion page. Also getting a bye in round 1. Taking out ESC. This can't be the Ermin. Yeah, it's not. Escalation Gaming. I thought for a second it may have been the German side of ESC, but there would have been a general flag there. Meta was their next team to be defeated, followed up by Impact. And finally, they went over 9,000. So, Lions in the Space, Polish side, played in several cups before. And you can see they've been around, played a couple of competitions. Got a few wins as well, 1 or 2 losses. So, did very well last weekend as well. That's this weekend. Escalation Gaming. We don't need that one. We want UV Gaming. Where are they? UV Gaming at the moment, of course. We followed them last weekend. Got a few very, very good games in. They managed to get Udyr as well in the jungle. And their Udyr was incredibly powerful. It looks as though that was their first Go4LoL as well. So they made it all the way up until finally being defeated by TCM Gaming. Today, once again, carrying on their win streak. 4 wins. We're already up to their 5th match of the day. And I believe the next round was where they fell out of the competition last time round. And once again, double AP showing up. So, 1 minute left on the countdown. I would love to get some predictions on chat. We've got 150 viewers hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. But I'd like to know, who do you think is going to win this? Are we going to see another Ken and Vladimir decimation with their ultimates? Or will Galio's Idol of Durand be timed well enough to cancel out the DPS? Another thing to be mentioned, I've seen last weekend, Amazing94 and Udyr, he would activate his bear stance as he was running towards a team fight and stay in bear stance. And the second that Galio activated his Idol of Durand, Udyr already in the bear stance, which applies an on-hit stun, immediately cancelled out the Galio ultimate within 0.5 seconds of it being activated. And that's entirely due to the fact that Udyr can do that. He's got an on-hit stun. He slaps you with that bare paw, and it hurts. You sit down for a few seconds. So we're finally loading up the game. We've got 2 votes for UV Gaming at the moment. Come on, someone else has to give me a vote here. 2 votes is pitiful. And that's it. You will get bear slapped by the man, bear, pig, elephant, giraffe monster. And is also known as Udyr. He doesn't know which animal he wants to be, so he'll be them all. So, loading into the game. Once again, now, okay, hands down skin victory. Hands down. UV not only have the sexy, gorgeous Vladimir and Kennen skins, they even have a half-naked Soraka. I think this particular Soraka skin, she's hiding her horn as well. Doesn't she have a horn in some of the other skins? So, someone help me out. Who plays Soraka in chat? Doesn't she have a unicorn horn? So that's missing this time round. She's looking a little bit more human. And Urgot Soraka facing off against Janna Tristana. It's going to be very interesting to see how that lane plays out. Because Janna has a lot of disruption. Combo that with the rocket jump slow and the buster shot. That's a lot of movement abilities in that bottom lane. So, Phoenix stance already picked for Amazing 94. He knows what he wants to do. He knows where he wants to farm. Boots Potts meta being broken by Dr. Mundo. For the first game today, Dr. Mundo not wearing boots. He's going with cloth armor instead. So, let's keep an eye on this invasions. We are, of course, following UV Gaming, wearing the blue trunks. They managed to place top 4 last weekend, losing narrowly to TCM Gaming. And they are facing off against LIS, Lost in the Space from Poland. A very, very aggressive invade so far. Not managed to find anybody yet, but that ward from the purple team, more than enough to at least see the guys coming. And now to see them falling back. So LIS know that there's nothing going on. They'll know it's safe to move back into their jungle. And it looks as though UV are moving to potentially steal the blue buff. Tristana is alone in this lane, and if he hangs around for too long, he may get caught out. Here comes Urgot from below. If Tristana runs up and left, this may end badly. No, vote Siffy, vote Sci-Fi, votes Iffy, whatever. Moving back with Tristana, playing it quite safely. Luckily for Tristana, moved right instead of left because we want to walk straight into a 3-man UV Gaming. So, lots of running around. Everyone just going for a daisy walk. And interestingly, we're actually going to see Kennen in the top lane against Needly. And I Love Chio going up against against Galio as Vladimir. So, let's see what happens now for the rest of this rest of the game. One more auto attack from Udia is going to pick up the Wolf Camp. Transfusion will leash the Golem. Some auto attacks and 1 or 2 lightning shurikens tossed down onto that Golem buff. He's going to go down very quickly. And Dr. Mundo's, he's obviously opened up with the red buff. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. So, Kennen versus Needly in the top lane. As a Kennen player, you can win this game if you can keep Needly down on her ass. That's going to be the deciding factor. Dream Woot is going to need to put as much pressure on Needly as possible. Force her to use her mana to heal up. And she's going to have to put some points into the Primal Surge. And that obviously is going to give her a decent amount of hit points. And I think, does it also increases? Oh, it also increases your attack speed. I didn't even know it did that. And if you can get Needly to low health, it really helps. Just force out the lane. You can avoid those javelins and mitigate a lot of the damage. And exactly like I said earlier, Udia moving in, trying to steal the blue buff, just getting out of the range of the Howling Gale. Tristana jumps forward very aggressively, lands the rocket jump, slows down Udia. And with all the damage that was applied into Janna, she wasn't willing to commit further. Get rid of that scoreboard really quickly. Nothing coming of it just yet. But Exhaust was used by Soraka. So she's at a small disadvantage there. And the damage from Needly, she takes this lightning shuriken and actually didn't register there for some reason. Well, at least the animation didn't. So it's a thundering shuriken. Sorry about that. So let's see what happens with Ignites going down on both. Electrical Surge comes up. Surge goes and Kennen picks up first blood. He does die in return. But it does end up being a bonus 200 gold. And very, very interestingly, Kennen has gone for a Doran's Blade as his first item. It's going to give him additional attack damage. It's going to give him, obviously, the bonus health points as well. And a small amount of lifesteal. Ooh, a little bit of a mistimed corrosive charge there. Now we've got pressure in this middle lane. I Live Chio popping his Sanguine Pool, mitigating all of the damage that was going to go down to him. But being forced back from his creep wave, he's lost out a little bit of experience. A little bit behind Galio in terms of levels. And once again, aggression on this bottom lane. Huge damage going down from both champions. And all of a sudden, things now turn around. Nightlife with that potion singing true. He still has his summoner heal as well. Might be trying to move for a heal bait. Acid Hunter's being thrown out. Another Acid Hunter going down. And if he only had one more, maybe would have been enough to pick up a kill. And that's why you tend to build cooldown reduction on Urgot. Get that Acid Hunter up and available as often and as quickly as possible. But look at the damage on Tristana. She's not going to be able to heal that up, and Corrosive that it lands. Janna's shield comes up just to mitigate damage. And without Janna having a built-in heal, Tristana's on the back foot. She's already 10 creep score behind. And if Nightlife can keep putting this pressure down onto Tristana, it's really going to help a lot. 2 points into Astral Blessing, 2 points into Infuse. So exactly like we said earlier, she's now going to be returning 100 mana to Urgot. And that is 2.5 Acid Hunters at this stage. Lands the Corrosive Charge. It's 1 Acid Hunter to Janna, 2nd Acid Hunter to Janna, and that's half health, even with Eye of the Storm on the champion. So Nightlife and Salo really want to be aggressive on this bottom lane. Acid Hunter lands, 2nd Acid Hunter. Almost all of it is blocked by the Eye of the Storm, but of course, using that shield defensively is not going to help you win your lane. You need to be able to return some damage and take control over it. And once again, just Acid Hunter after Acid Hunter, Corrosive Charge after Corrosive Charge. Urgot Nightlife really doing well in the early stages of the game. So we got an invade now. No, I'm lying. Dr. Mundo plays for the enemy team, for the purple team. So he's just moving around. Moved up to his red buff and starting to recall. I think that's his first trip back. Second trip back, because he has picked up some boots as well. And there goes the spear onto Kennen, taking off a decent chunk of his hit points. But the Javelin Toss is only at level 3, and of course you need a little bit more ability power for it to really hit hard. Very interestingly from Dreamwood, he's leveling up his Electrical Surge, which is going to, of course, increase the amount of damage you can deal with the active, with his W. And of course, it increases the scaling bonus on his attack damage. Level 6 there for Needly. She just uses that pounce to jump away. And 60% of his attack damage gets added on every 4th attack from Kennen. It's really, really useful. So that's probably where the early Doran's Blade comes from. Charge comes up from Urgot. Sadly, it misses though. So he's not able to at least guarantee the damage onto Tristana. Let's see where he's putting his points. Just standard build thus far. All the points going into Acid Hunter. 47 damage with each one that lands at this level already. Combine that with his passive and reduces attack damage. It really makes it very difficult for Tristana to even farm or stay in her lane. And of course, while you're being beaten with that, if you commit to a fight, it really helps reduce the enemy's damage. And of course, yours is then going to be superior. Eden1873, welcome. What's up, man? We're in the 6th round of today's Go4LoL Cup. And we're watching Ultraviolet Gaming on the left. Come up against Lost in the Space. It's a European affair versus a Polish affair, actually. So, I have to double check that. I think UV are international. At least that's what the flag was, or European. Vladimir moved back into the shop. 53 CS against the 48 on Galio. Great Acid Hunters coming down, and they're trying to bait this fight out. No rocket jump from Tristana, though. If she had done that, it would have sealed her death. Galio now moving down to the bottom lane as well. Pings on him from UV. And the first item picked up from Udia is, of course, the Heart of Gold. A great play from there. Slow comes out onto Soraka. Rocket jump lands as well. Urgot does have his ultimate, though, and I think that Howling Gale was probably enough to prevent a death for Tristana. Nightlife was moving forward. He wanted to use that hyperkinetic position reversal transferal of movement thingies. And we'll take it from there. I think Kennen's a dude. I think Kennen's a dude. Was I saying her? If I did, my bad. So Udia's coming in. Smite and 1 auto attack is going to be the steal. That's 2 for 2 going the way of UV. Slicing Maelstrom activated for Dreamwood. Lightning Surge Flash is absolutely brilliant. One more Lightning Shuriken. If you can get an Electrical Surge off, this might be enough to pick up the kill. Ignite goes down onto Dreamwood, but it's not going to be enough to secure anything. And the Berserker's Greaves Doran's Blade Cannon, who's sitting with a huge amount of attack damage, 115 already, dealing huge damage. So there's the ultimate from Urgot going out. 1 Acid Hunter, 2 Acid Hunters, huge damage. 1 more Acid Hunter is going to be able to pick up the kill, except that Summoner Heal is blown. And Tristana, using that Summoner Heal to save her own life. Astral Blessing comes out from Soraka, and that's going to keep Urgot Tank, topped up. 3 points into Astral Blessing, 2 points into Infuse. And there's the first turret of the game. Kennan's going to be able to pick this up. Being very, very wise. Landing, picking up the last kills as best as he can. Now, Sadism has been activated, Dr. Mundo. Wish has been blown as well. It's not going to be enough to save Kenan, though. The red buff and the meat cleavers is going to cost him a life. But it's not the end of the world when you consider that they did pick up a turret out of it. So it's 200 gold for Mundo, as opposed to 750 gold for his entire team. So, give or take, whether or not you think it was advantageous or not. In the mid lane now, with the Hextech Revolver on Vladimir, he's now pulled ahead in creep score, 10 creep advantage. Bottom lane sitting on a 10 or 12 creep advantage as well. And first dragon of the game has been started by Lost in the Space. Pincer moving coming up from UV. Corrosive Charge down, being followed up by the Acid Hunters. Dr. Mundo's on low life. He also just used his ultimate recently. And now we get a bit of split. Idol of Durand comes up from Galio, so that's going to pick up 2. Huge commitment from Tristana. Jumps in, rocket jump, followed up by the Buster Shot as well. Now all of a sudden we've got a Hemoplague only on 2 champions. Sanguine Pool blown from Vladimir as well. It's not going to be enough to pick up a kill. Only 1 goes down onto Janna, compliments of the Ignite, and now all of a sudden Dr. Mundo's gone down, so it's a 2-for-2 exchange. Kenan's jumped in there with his ultimate as well, and that's going to be able to pick up Needly. 2 for 3, and they lost Dragon. 2 for 3, and they lost a Dragon. And it's official. Kenan is officially a dude. We agree, and it's proven. Chat said so that's it. There'll be no more arguing. And this may result in another tower going down. Our attack damage, Kenan. He's already built his Berserker's Greaves, double Dorans, and he's got a Vamp Scepter as well. So that damage in conjunction with the Man, Bear, Pig, Elephant, Giraffe monster that is Udyr just got huge damage. You can see how he's leveling his champion at the moment. 4 into Phoenix, 1 Bear, 3 Turtle. That's a pretty standard farmer armor Udyr build. Get as much AoE damage as is possible. And huge pressure going down on this bottom lane now. Urgot, having finished his Brutalizer, looking like he wants to work towards a Frozen Heart. Landing 1 or 2 attacks down onto Tristana, taking some damage. The Explosive Shot is on, so that's reduced healing from Soraka. That's a dead Janna. And what a brilliant switch in focus. Immediately turning his attention to Janna when she joined the fight. Infected Cleaver comes out from Mundo, but just misses the crab monster of Urgot. And then we got a whole bunch of pings up here in the enemy red team area. And brilliant Needly Spear Javelin Toss comes out, and look at the pressure coming down. 5 points in Electrical Surge is going to deal 185 magic damage to Galio and secure that kill. Let's see how we're building at the moment. Vladimir, Hextech Revolver and Giant's Belt. Of course, he gets some of that HP converted to ability power, complements of his passive. Needly as well, looks like she's going attack damage. She's got a Madrid's Blood Razor. And that's probably going to end up being a Wriggles Lantern, more likely than not. We're just going to have to wait to see when she gets a little bit more gold what she actually wants to pick up. And highest score at the moment, 4-2-1, AD Kenan. Moving back into lane, he does have 1,300 gold. So let's see what he's going to pick up. That might be a Wriggles Lantern as well, actually. Cloth Armor and a Vamp Scepter, and there you go. Wriggles Lantern picked up. So, and a 3rd Doran's Blade. Very, very interesting now from Kenan. Changing the gameplay a little bit. Having the sort of tanky DPS Urgot in the bottom lane. He's going to be able to reduce the damage of champions that he's fighting. And of course deals out some pretty good damage with all those Acid Hunters as well. So combine that with the attack damage that Kenan can put down and some of his AoE. And actually, that's actually very intelligent now that I think about it. Because combine the AoE magic damage from Slicing Maelstrom and then put a Hemoplague from Vladimir. Even though Dream Woot is not actually prioritizing ability power, the bonus damage from Vlad's ulti is going to increase the amount of magic damage he's dealing. So I think that's very, very smart. So, once again, another invade. This is the 3rd time that LIS's blue buff has spawned, and this is the third time it's going to be stolen. Amazing 94 jumps there. Smite still manages to pick it up as well. Now all of a sudden Galio's in trouble. Using that bulwark, mitigate as much damage as he can. Using his Idol of Duran just to save his life, but immediately cancelled. UDA in his bear stance immediately locks him down, prevents that stun, and look at the damage going down into Tristana. Tristana's little girly scream in the background, that goes off at the same time as all of that happening. Dreamwood really putting the hurt down onto Needly. Pressure's been turned though because he's taken some cleavers to the face. One more infected cleaver just swings wide. Naruwan not able to get that next slow onto Kennen, and Kennen gets away with his life. And at the 15-minute mark, 3 turrets down, and the 5 kill advantage, it's equated to 5,800 gold in the lead. Udia, 5 points into Phoenix, 4 into Turtle. And I think he's going to be able to get a level very soon. Probably his turtle stance maxed out. Kennen once again just poking and poking and poking to this Needly. Item-wise at the minute, Needly only has Merc Treads and the Wriggles. He's now committed to this fight, moves up and uses that swipe, deals massive, massive damage. Ignite has gone down as well. And with the Ignite and the execution ability from, let's see, what is it called? Takedown. In Kruger form, increased against wounded targets up to 300% bonus damage in Cougar form. That's absolutely massive, really difficult to deal with. Bottom lane is being pressured. UV really want this tower. UV really want to lock it down. And let's see whether or not they can actually take out this interior turret. Broken 150 viewers. What's up? Welcome, dudes and dudettes. The moment, 9-5 up. UV Gaming against LIS. Doing really well. Look at the range on that Acid Hunter. It's just incredible. Pink ward coming down in the blue buff for LIS. It just means that Soraka's able to clear that out, reduce the vision that LIS have, and obviously allow them to keep vision with their own ward. So let's see how these champions build out at the minute. Needly opted to go Wriggles Lantern first. So it looks as though Techno Link, you may have been 100% correct predicting the AD Needly. She's just picked up another Doran's Blade and a long sword. So there you go, guys. AD Needly in the top lane against AD Kennen in the top lane. Berserker's Greaves, triple Doran. Vladimir has now finished his Will of the Ancients. That's going to help Kennen as well. All of his abilities that stack off AP. Was it Eden 1873? My bad. You're the one that predicted it. I'm not 100% certain. But if you guys are looking to do some shoutcasting, drop me a message after this. Now we got huge damage on this bottom line. Urgot is forced back after Monsoon is used. And brilliant damage, or the knockback is used rather. Brilliant, going down all over the place. Urgot manages to get away with his life after using Summoner Heal and Wish from Soraka. The only person to die thus far being Udia. Needly managed to jump up, use that pounce to finally kill Urgot. And a 4-man Hemo play, that's going to deal huge damage. Goodbye, Galio. Ignite down into Janna as well. One more transfusion is needed. One more transfusion is necessary to pick up this kill. It's a 2-for-2 exchange. A mid and a top lane versus a bottom lane and a jungler. And all of a sudden, the team fight, the pressure that LIS can put down, that'll give them some confidence. That'll probably, build up their mindset when it comes to picking these fights. And will obviously give them a little bit more knowledge and security that they can actually pick up these kills if they coordinate and use their abilities correctly. Galio, he did use his Idol of Durand and was interrupted fairly quickly. Got about a second to a second and a half off of it. But one of the big things was there was a knockback onto Urgot from, I believe it was Buster Shot. It literally pushed Urgot away and allowed him to run to safety, and then allowed him to use his hyperkinetic position reversal transferal movement of awesomeness and pulled Needly into the turret. She took a whole bunch of turret damage, and that was enough to secure her death as well. So 28,000 gold to 21,000 gold. Let's see how that splits across the team thus far. Tristana, 4,400 gold to the 5,600 on Urgot. Top lane, Kennen, currently sitting on 6,300 to the 5,800 on Needly. Not a huge difference. Kennen is in trouble now as well. Uses his lightning surge, runs over a Needly trap. That's going to give vision for a very long time. Going to pop his flash to get over this wall. Brilliant, brilliant flash. Needly does continue to chase, though. She's got the red buff as well, so a few auto attacks may be enough to actually secure some secure a kill. Excuse me. But Lightning Rush comes off of cooldown and allows Kennen to just zip away. He's now finished his Zeal as well, so we're going to see a Wriggles Lantern Phantom Dancer build on this Kennen. It is the favored build of AD Kennens. I'm very interested to see what he builds next. It looks as though Needly wants to build a Phage. She's got a long sword as well as the Ruby Crystal, so that's going to give her some hit points back. Amazing 94 jumping in. Managed to put some damage. Now Kennen's jumped in, slicing Maelstrom. Brilliant Monsoon from Janna. Immediately pulls Kennen all the way out of the battle zone. Vladimir forced to try take on the team alone. Still has his Sanguine Pool available. Or had been used, rather. He used it to try slow the champions down. But brilliant knockback from Janna. Brilliant counter initiation. And once again, blue buff gets stolen. I cannot tell you how amazing 94 is. Yep, amazing 94. That's an awesome sentence. Every single time that blue buff is spawned, he has been there and he's pulled his teammates up to steal it as well. The counter jungling is extremely impressive. And as mentioned earlier, Needly has picked up her Phage. 125 CS to the 108 of Kennen. But with the fact that Kennen's side does have 4 towers and he's sitting 5-3-2, he's quite a bit further ahead in terms of gold. 11-7 the kill score, 10,000 gold difference. And Soraka just clearing out some wards, removing the vision of that Baron pit. That'll start the mines ticking for LIS. Will they, they think that his Baron is a possibility? Will they go up and put a ward down? Saying that, though, they can see 2 of UV Gaming's champions, so they know they're not doing anything like that. Frozen Heart completed on Urgot. That's really going to help against Tristana. And an attack damage Needly as well. That's going to be very beneficial. Reduce the incoming damage, reduce the attack speed. Vladimir, Rylai's Crystal Scepter, as well as Will of the Ancients completed. So that Rylai's the utility from the slow, Tides of Blood, and of course the Sanguine Pool is just going to keep everybody where UV want them. So another Needly trap stepped on, and turret cleared out, or the ward cleared out. And we've got a 5-man UV. Playing this by the numbers, they've got a textbook that says how to play League of Legends. And one of the first rules is, oh, what a brilliant position reverser there. Pulls Galio backward. Not sure that was the best of decisions, though, because Galio, of course, isn't somebody who can just instantly blow it up. And a brilliant Idol of Durand gets dropped, but it's instantly cancelled by a best on stun. So taking a look at this top fight to them, there's still no one gone down. All those abilities, all that damage. And the only thing that's been hurt is a half-health Kennen. But they didn't manage to pick up any kills either. So brilliant control from both sides. Using all their abilities, all their damage. And just mitigating it and dancing around it as effectively as they can. It may result in a tower going down, though. Creep wave is moving up. And I'm just going to have to see whether or not UV are going to completely commit to this. And no Idol of Durand is down, but then so is Slicing Maelstrom, slow is Hemoplague. No, I lie, Hemoplague is available. It was not used in that previous fight. And with the amount of pressure that's going down, Kennen pretty much just solos that turret. Doesn't even need Urgot applying too many auto attacks. In the background, LIS just too afraid to commit. Without having Idol of Durand up, they don't think they can stand a full-on 5v5 team fight without that crowd control. Let's see how much gold does UV have to spend. 2k. If you guys have already gone back to buy some items. Kennen, of course, he's picked up the Phantom Dancer. And we've got 3 GP5 items on Soraka. He's rocking a James Bond, everybody. 007 Soraka. That's about as good as you can get. Of the 11 kills her team has, she's been involved in 7 of them. Now she's picked up the first items that are actually going to start benefiting her. Also quite interestingly on boost of mobility. That's really going to help just staying out the back, staying out the fight for as long as possible, or getting to lanes as and when she needs to. Picked up a Kindle gem as well. That's going to give us some cooldown reduction, some bonus health, and that'll work towards a Shurelya's Reverie. along with the fact that she's got the Philosopher's Stone. It should be pretty soon, and it'll be available. So both teams know that there's a ward there at the moment. And now we've got a big collection of champions. Kennen nowhere to be seen. He's farming on the bottom lane. LIS going, you know what? We need to push towers. We need to try get some pressure. Instead, I'm going to fall back and go pick up a dragon. Opting not to go for that middle tower. And we'll see whether or not it's going to make any difference. Still 0 towers down at the 25-minute mark. UV Gaming doing fantastically well to control the game. Udia placing a ward just in time to watch Dragon going down. And sadly, that's not going to be enough to do anything about it. Amazing 94. Beson's jumping up. The team is split though, and he's taken so much damage from Poke. Less than half his health has already been blown before the fight has even started. Up at the top lane, Urgot's moving forward. Slicing Maelstrom used, but Janna Monsoon immediately blows him away. He says, get out of my house. Brilliant hyperconnecting now, but Idol of Duran's just going to be thrown on. What damage! That completely melted Urgot. Huge damage going down. The focus is now Dr. Mundo. No Ignite going on though, so his healing is helping a lot. Finally, the Ignite being used right at the end there, just to secure the kill. And all of a sudden, this may result in an inhibitor. Even though the ultimate from Kennen wasn't there, they didn't need it. They didn't need the damage. And I cannot believe just how quickly Galio was blown up. Brilliant damage going down. Hemoplague drop onto Needly, so that proc's going to pick up the kill. Unfortunately, Kennen actually picks it up with an auto attack. Vlad then finishes off Tristana. So that's the delayed ace. Inhibitor down for UV Gaming, and this might be game. 25 seconds for 3 champions. I don't think a Mundo and a Galio without Idol of Duran can do anything about this. Galio's not even leaving his base. He's staying in spawn. And UV Gaming with a clinical game. Really, really in control the majority of the time. Only losing a few champions here and there. But for the most part, GG Ultraviolet Gaming. They win the next round of Go4LoL. And of course, they're going to advance. So let's bring up the scoreboards. I think I might follow UV Gaming again. I'm just going to find out. So I'm going to message the players in just a second. Let's quickly bring up the final scores. You can see it right there, guys. Well played to UV Gaming and control of it from the entire time. Once again, Soraka, 1-0-11. Brilliant positional play. Really great timing. And great focus from their team. A bit of unorthodox build as well. You know, AD Kennen in the top lane. So, that is